All right, today we're going on a kind of microscopic safari. We're going to track one of the most important journeys in the entire natural world, the path of a single human egg. It's a story that starts with something smaller than a grain of sand, but you know what? It's the origin story for every single one of us.
We hear all the terms, right? But how does this unbelievably complex system actually work with such clockwork precision, month after month? Well, we're about to find out. We're going to follow the journey of the egg, right from its very beginning.
So, our journey has to start at the command center, the absolute origin point for this whole process, the ovaries.
Now, this is what makes the ovaries so incredibly powerful. They're playing two roles at the exact same time. On one hand, they're like a secure vault, holding every single egg a person will ever have. But they're also a hormone factory, churning out the chemical messengers that conduct this entire monthly cycle. It's this dual action that makes them the master regulators of the whole system.
It's so easy to think of these things as just abstract concepts, but they're real physical parts of us. I mean, get this. Each ovary is only about the size of a large almond. And it isn't just floating around in there. There's this whole network of ligaments that anchors it securely to the uterus and the pelvic wall, holding it in the perfect spot to do its job.
So, to really see how they work, we need to look inside. The best way to think of it is like an onion. If you were to slice an ovary open, you'd see it's not just one solid thing. It's actually organized into two very distinct layers, and each one has a completely different job to do.
And this table really shows that perfect division of labor. You've got the medulla right there at the core, which is basically the logistics hub. It's all blood vessels and nerves, providing power and communication lines. But the real show, the main event, happens in that outer layer, the cortex. That's where the ovarian follicles live. These tiny, precious little capsules that are each holding a single egg.
Okay, so we know where the eggs are. Now, let's zoom way in on just one of those follicles and follow its incredible journey as it gets ready for its big moment. So each month, a few of these follicles start a race. But here's the thing. Usually, only one is going to win. It all begins as a primordial follicle, which is basically just the egg with a simple, flat little protective coating. Then, it starts to wake up. In the primary stages, those protective cells start to plump up and multiply, building a stronger and stronger wall. But the big leap happens in the secondary stage. A fluid-filled pocket, called the antrum, appears, and specialized cells start pumping out estrogen. Finally, it becomes a mature Graafian follicle. It's swollen with fluid, totally primed and ready for the main event.
Okay, the follicle is mature. Hormones are surging through the system. This is it. This is the moment the entire cycle has been building towards. Ovulation.
And then, a final hormonal surge gives the signal. The mature follicle actually ruptures, releasing the egg from the ovary. That's ovulation. But listen, the follicle's story is not over. The material that it leaves behind transforms to perform one last, absolutely crucial job.
So, that empty follicle, it morphs into this temporary gland called the corpus luteum. And now, it waits. It's at a fork in the road. If the egg gets fertilized, the new embryo sends out a hormonal signal, that's HCG, which tells the corpus luteum, hey, keep pumping out progesterone to support this pregnancy. But if no signal arrives, then after about 2 weeks, it just gives up. It degrades into a tiny little scar, the corpus albicans. Progesterone levels fall, and the whole cycle just starts all over again.
So that's the egg's journey and its two possible fates. Now, let's fast forward a bit. Let's say fertilization is successful. The body then starts building these incredible new structures to support that new life. We're going to look at two of the most important, the placenta and the breasts.
You know, the placenta is nothing short of a biological masterpiece. It's a temporary organ built by both the mother and the baby that acts as a combined lung, kidney, and digestive system. It delivers oxygen and nutrients, and it removes all the waste, all without ever letting their blood actually mix. It is the ultimate life support system.
And the other key support system gets ready for afterbirth. Inside the breasts, you've got this complex network of about 15 to 20 lobes that work like tiny little factories. Their one and only purpose is to produce milk, which is then sent through a network of microscopic pipes, or ducts, right to the nipple. The entire structure is just this self-contained, highly efficient production and delivery system.
And understanding this intricate system of glands and ducts, well, it's not just academic, it is vital for our health. Why? Because the very same drainage pathways that support the breast's function can, unfortunately, become highways for cancer cells to spread. This quote from a medical text really highlights that reality, and it shows why this anatomy is so critical to understand in the fight against breast cancer.
Okay, so let's just take a step back for a second and bring this entire amazing journey together, from the very smallest cell to the largest support systems. When you really see it all laid out like this, the hormonal signals, the follicle's race to maturity, that fork in the road after ovulation, it's just a stunning cascade of perfectly timed events. It really is a masterpiece of biological engineering, fine-tuned over millions and millions of years.
And that really leaves us with one final and crucial question. We've just seen this finely tuned machine, this marvel of balance, but what happens when that balance gets thrown off? Conditions like polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS, they give us a glimpse, and it's a powerful reminder that understanding this perfect system is also the very first step to understanding what happens when it goes wrong.